Hello all, today we will learn how to install and set up Flutter in Visual Studio Code. So these are the some steps which we will be doing today. First we need to install and set up Flutter as well as Android Studio on our machine. So this has already been covered in my previous video. If you have not installed Flutter and Android Studio, please go to my previous video and have a look. So if you go to YouTube and my channel, so this is a video where we have discussed how to install Flutter in Windows. So in this we have discussed in detail how to set up Flutter on Windows machine. So after installing Flutter and Android Studio, so we will come to the next step. That is, we will download the Visual Studio. So to download the Visual Studio, go to this link code.visualstudio.com/download. So if you go to this link, so here you can see there are different version of Visual Studio is available for different platform like Windows, Debian machine, RPMI and Mac. So we will be downloading Windows one. So if you click on this one, it will automatically start downloading your exe file. So as you can see, thanks for downloading VS Code for Windows, and you can see it has started downloading. So as I have already downloaded this Visual Studio, so I will simply cancel this and go to my downloads. So here we already have the Visual Studio Code. Simply double click on this one. So it will take some time to bring a pop-up. So here you can see it's a Visual Studio Code is provided by the Microsoft and it's open source and freeware. You can freely download it and use it. Click on I accept the agreement, click on next. Here it will ask you where you would like to install it. So I would prefer the default location, so I'm not changing this one. Click on next. So it will create a shortcut. Next, install. So it will install it. It will take about a minute or 2 minutes to install everything. So Visual Studio Code is a very light IDE, I would say. So instead of developing Flutter in Android Studio, I always prefer Visual Studio Code. So it's almost completed. Click on finish and it will launch the Visual Studio Code. So we have completed third step of installing the Visual Studio Code. Next step is to install Flutter and Dart plugin in Visual Studio Code. So for doing that, open your Visual Studio Code. Yeah, so here our Visual Studio Code is ready. So we will go over here and can you see the preference? Simply type over here as a plugin. Nope, here isn't there. Go to your file. So if you go to your view and click on extension, it will open the plugin. So here we don't have any plugin installed as of now, so we will simply search for Flutter. So click on this one, click on install. Make sure you are connected to the internet while installing this plugin. So it will take few moments to install the Flutter on your machine. So as you can see, Flutter is installed. You can see disable or uninstall. Now we will check for the Dart. Dart will be by default install. because Flutter depend on this plugin. So while installing Flutter, it will install the Dart plugin as well. So we have completed fourth step. Now we will set up a virtual device, Android virtual device for doing our testing, Android app testing. Simply close all this thing. Open your Android Studio. After opening, click on More Action. Go to AVD. AVD is Android Virtual Device Manager. Create a virtual device. So here you can create any device which you would prefer. So I will say I want XL whose size is 5.5-inch screen size, and this is the resolution and all that. After that, it will ask which Android you want to install on that particular device. If you want to test your app on R Android, Q, Pi, Oreo, Nougat, or Marshmallow Lollipop. So we will go with the latest one. So it will simply start downloading that particular SDK for us. So here you can see it's 620 MB of file which it will be downloading. So it will take few moments to complete the downloading. Meanwhile, it installing and creating Android virtual device for us. We will go back to the Visual Studio and we will create a new Flutter project. Click on View, Command Palette, and type Flutter New Application Project. So it will, would you like to use? Click on Yes. So here it will ask you select a folder to create a project. Okay, so where we want to create a project, if I click software instead of in software, I would like a new project over here. Let's create it here. Let's give it a name. My first step. Okay, it's asking for us to create this path first. My first step and select the name of your app. My app and press enter. So it will create a project for you. Just click on yes. I trust this particular application. So now it will create the folder structure for us. Just wait for a few moments. It will take a minute to initialize your project. While Visual Studio is creating our project, let's go back to our Android Studio and check if our virtual device is created or not. If we go over here, so it says 95%, 96% is completed, 97 almost complete. Let's wait for a minute over here. So now it will be doing the unzipping of our file. So the installation is complete. Click on finish. So now select on this one. Click on next. So it will ask you what the name you want to give. You can give any name. Let me suppose created by Ashok so that I remember I have created this one. Click on finish. So it will create a virtual device where we can test our app. Before publishing it here, you can use any Android version to test your app. Just wait for few more seconds and this device will be ready. So now you can simply click on play button. So it will start your Android device where you can do all the testing. So let's minimize this one and go back to Visual Studio Code. So here you can see it has already created the folder structure, iOS, lib, Android. So we need to go into lib. Here we will create all our files which will be used for developing our app. So by default they have given us a sample project. So let's run this one and check if it's everything is running fine or not. So now our Android virtual batch is up and running as you can see. So this has started an emulator, Android emulator with XL and API 30. API 30 is the latest one. So let's go back to our Dart program and to execute this app or to run this app and install on the connected device. Here you can see which device is connected with your Visual Studio. So now let's click on run. So here you will get two options. Start with debugging and run without debugging. So currently we will start it without debugging, which will start much quicker as compared to the debugging option. So let's just wait for few seconds as it will take a minute to install this particular app on your system. So as you can now see, this app is installed and open in our Android emulator. So this is a simple app where you can see a button. If you click on this, it will increase its number. So this is how Visual Studio and Flutter setup is done. So if you face any problem, just put it in comment and I will try to help you out. Thank you.